Yulinda Renee, and we are back for another episode of From Shadow to Sacred and Sex in the Raw with your spiritual clinical counselor and sexual self-awareness coach. And we are bringing Dr. Allie Griffin, who is a published #1 best-selling author, global transformational speaker, and a startup business coach for moms, helping them to start profitable businesses and create wealth on their own terms. Yes, please come to the mic and tell us a bit more about yourself, ma'am.
Oh man, I feel like if I should be doing double dutch right now. You have all this energy and I'm just like, all right, Allie, wake up, wake up, wake up. I am Dr. Allie Griffin. I help moms to launch their own unique brands. I am an autism mom, an audiologist, speech pathologist, and there's just something to me about starting your own brand that just, it's exciting. It turns me on. I'm in the right space, so I could just say it just turns me on. It turns me on when you want more for yourself, you want more for your future, and not only just for you but for your kids, and that you are willing to take the necessary steps to make it happen. So if you're willing to do it, I'm here to help you to support.
Yes. So with that being said, why moms? Like, out of all the people you could choose to work with, why moms?
Because that's me. Like, I have one son, so he is on the autism spectrum. So he takes a lot out of me. I say he's one person, but he feels like 5, 7. Like literally right before I was supposed to come on, he got like 50 million things to tell me about what's happening right now. And for about the rest, maybe 2 or 3 hours, I didn't hear anything from him. But when we log in, you know how it goes. That's when they need you. And there was something when someone asked me with starting my business and launching it, what was my biggest challenge that I had to overcome to make it happen? And it was really parenting and still trying to start a business. So yes, it was doing dualpreneurship. There's other little things, a factor, money. People say money, people can say all these other things, but the reality, it all stemmed back to, my strength as a mom, what I wanted to do as a mom. But at times I stopped, or I stumbled, or I questioned myself, because I knew that whatever I do would impact his life. Right? So making that choice to step up into a space that's going to take time out of you and money out of you and energy out of you, and you're taking it away from them, you better be sure that's what you want to do. So when I made that bold step, and when I began to see the amazing results, and when I began to see him shift as I become more empowered, it was like, no, I got to go back and help my other moms with this, because I know a lot of them give up along the way because of that.
Yes. And being a mom of 3, I totally get it, because did you ever deal with the mom guilt, right?
Yeah,
that comes.
Absolutely. That was the first question I asked when I was on Lisa Nichols' platform, and before I even worked with her. And she came in to speak in one of my classes. And I said, well, how did you do it? How do you deal with going and speaking and traveling the world, and you have your son at home? How does that make you feel away? And she just broke it down to me in terms of how it is my mindset and how I really navigate the process. And that was everything for me. It kind of gave me permission. So I figured God sent me to give somebody out there the permission to go out there and still do it.
Yes, the mindset. So then for you, how did your mindset shift? What did that look and feel like in real life?
I began to realize that when I was giving up on my dreams, when I was putting that aside, thinking I'm doing everything for him, he wasn't fully getting a full mom. He wasn't getting a full Alicia or Dr. Allie. He was just getting a part of me. The part that's just doing it. When you operate on robotic, I just got to do this. I love it. Nothing against it. I love it. But you're just not your full self when you're living in your full entirety, right? So as I began to do my work on me, my personal development, my business development, I began to realize that, ooh, this is good. Like I said, it was a turn on. Like I was excited and I was feeling good about getting up every morning. And it wasn't easy, still isn't, but good knowing I'm pouring into my own bank.
Yes, I love it. And you mentioned it's a turn on. So then how did that shift how you showed up as a woman?
Whew. Well, it was hard. I ain't gonna front. It really was hard, because there's so many roles that we have as a woman. We show up as a mom. I was twice married, so I was showing up as a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a girlfriend. I'm a coach. I'm all these titles that you put on top of yourself. But I began to lose the essence of the first thing, which is being a woman, the I am. The me, right? And when I said that work that I did on myself and reconnecting, recalibrating, uplifting, pouring back into me. So I just felt full again and vibrant again. And everything else began to become affected. So when they got less of me, then that impacted how I showed up. When they got more of me, the true person, the true woman, the true essence of me, then I showed up powerfully and they were able to truly ignite wherever our relationship was supposed to be.
I love that. So do you feel like, no, let me ask you like this. So what changes did you notice from when you were single, from first marriage to second marriage to now? What was that growth like?
Yeah, everybody asked me that question. So I did everything early. Like I was a young child, smarty pants, AKA genius, right? I went to college at 16. I started life really quick and I was just so super mature. Like I was always talking to older guys and I was just that one. The younger ones, I'd be like, I gotta get yourselves together. So when I got involved and got married the first time, that was my college sweetheart, after we got out of college, my first thing. And, it was like, okay, we're together for so long. So let's just do the next thing, which is get together. And really, honestly, looking back in hindsight, we both weren't ready. We just were doing it because of the society telling us when you're together for a long time, then next is the marriage. So that was the first step where I made that decision based on where I thought I was supposed to be, other people's rules, right? I get out of that and I realized that I completely lost myself. I gave up all my friends. I gave up everything because I was now a wife. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
But hey, nobody told me about what this role is. Nobody gave me schooling. No one explained to me that each marriage is different, that relationships that you have, it has nothing to do with the external world, but what we have within ourselves. And our communication, because you were so young, we really didn't know how to communicate. I was younger in body, thought I was so, mature, but I was still a kid, just because I'm, at that time I was book smart, but not sure. I'm calling out my own self. So that is truly what made the difference. The second time, I was more sure of myself. Like I did some work, not full work, but a little bit of work on myself. I was like, okay, this time I am not losing myself. Y'all know, ladies, y'all hear it out there. I am not losing myself. I am going to get married and I am still going to keep myself. Well, I kept myself, but he didn't. So
that part, right?
I kept myself, but he didn't. He was still going through a transitional process. And just for the sake of honoring his dignity, just know that we just had differences. And it was just, a stage where how Ali was different was that I was able to recognize the signs earlier.
Yeah. So for someone who's going through a process and they're doubting themselves or they're wondering like, is anybody going to want me because I didn't been through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, what would you say to them?
You got to want you first.
Yeah.
Like, you got to want you first. Before you want anybody else to want you, you have to want you yourself. And I fell madly in love with myself.
Oh, I love it.
See, people are like, oh, she glowing. She got, well, actually worked out before, but she glowing. Who she's dealing with. I'm always getting that. Well, who you with? And I'm like, why can't I just be madly in love with myself? And I want to have someone who's madly in love with themselves. So together we have love plus love equals a greater love. So I'm patient. I'm cool. I'm not even rushing this process because whoever is for me is going to attract towards this. But if I shift towards that space where I'm questioning myself, where I'm doubtful of myself, where I stay in that state of, oh my gosh, woe me. And don't get me wrong, I'm human. It kicks in, right? Self-work. Remember, I told you self-work is lifetime work.
Yes.
So I talk myself back into, okay, Ali, take a break, take everything off, take a break away from everything, and do the things that you need to do to fall back in love with yourself.
What were some of those things for you?
Dance, soca, carnivals. Now that the world is closed, it made a whole difference. I can't do carnivals anymore. Flying and going away, taking trips, taking time out to meditate. Taking time out to meditate made me truly realize that that was the biggest work I did. Meditation, having good people around me.
Yes.
Just good energy. Being around the spaces with good energy, it just makes me smile. And we just pour into each other. And pretty much that was it, reconnecting back to myself again.
Yes, yes. Speaking of going back, if we go back to childhood, was there conversations in the household about like being a girl, being a woman, being feminine? Did you have that growing up or is that something you learned on your own?
See, I come from that Caribbean household. And my mom's a social worker, so she did talk to me. She talked to me about sex. She talked to me about boys. She talked to me about all this stuff. In fact, my mom was the mom everybody came to our house for, because she was a cool mom. Right? My friends were having conversation about sex with her. However, she missed that woman part. Like, she told me the scientific aspect of it, or she may have told me, I probably wasn't listening. So I don't even want to blame mom. Right? It's quite possible she may have told me, but like I said, I was so daggone book smart. I was like, okay, are you finished talking? Let me go back in my romance novels and keep reading. Because in my head, there was going to be someone coming and my loins and my heart aches for you and all these things in their head. And I got to my husband. I'm like, well, where are these words that you're supposed to be telling me? And why aren't you romantic? And why aren't you like the romance novels? Yes, I was a romance novel junkie, like late nights, I'm up like in the book. Like
Danielle Steele case, yes, girl. I remember.
So she didn't tell me that stuff ain't real, right? She didn't tell me. So in my head, and I became a hopeless romantic, right? So whoever I dated, like my first husband, no, it wasn't in him at all. So I'm just like, well, where are the petals? You know, he had his moments, and I'm like, all right, cool. That make up for the other times he didn't do it. But that's when I got clear. You know what? I like romance. So I got clear on that. Check. Second husband had the romance. Romance is all juicy, the petals, the bath, the blah, blah, blah. But then I missed some other features. So
is it difficult to date as a mom? What is that like?
It's difficult to date as a mom of a special needs child. It's like a double whammy. Like, I know a lot of moms out there are very nervous about having males around their kids, especially if it's not their dad, right? And I'm super uber protective, especially when he was younger, because he wasn't really verbal. So at that point, you know, you're very nervous about who's around him. And Zachary detects energy super fast. Like, he was our internal spiritual counselor for my second marriage. Like, he would come and say, guys, stop. You know, that's when I realized, oh, I think it's time, because if he got a counsel at 6 and 7, something got to change. But it just makes me really guarded, honestly. But I trust the process. If it was up to him, I would be married like yesterday, because he has these conversations. Like, we even have a live that went virtual on my page, where he was telling me about the deals of how to date, how I need to go outside, and there'll be a strong man, and I was like, oh gosh, why did this thing go live? And then it went viral. I was like, oh gosh. But yeah. But I'm cool, you know. I've dated. I am dating at moments. The pandemic definitely changed the dynamics of how that will go. But I don't know. I'm cool. I just know that I'm at a state of really being patient, because I did that rushing thing. You heard the West Indian, I said thing. I did that the Russian thing, and that thing. I said again, thing. And I just want to take my time and let it attract towards me.
Got it. So for a mom who's trying to build her business and is also trying to date, help the ladies out, please, and thank you. Help them out.
Shoot, y'all ladies need to help me out. No, just kidding. So what I've learned is, what I got really clear is, it takes a very confident person to be with someone who is building an empire. Like, they have to have their own. They have to be confident in themselves, and they have to understand the path of what it takes to be an entrepreneur or just someone that's a go-getter, right? It got it really crystal clear to me when I date. I actually watch their vibe towards my work or my business and stuff. And if I start to get that, oh, you got another call again? I go, okay. So it's just an understanding. It's a certain understanding in terms of, that you're working on you, I'm working on me, we can support each other, and we just have to make it work. So that's why I said it's not for me to rush just to have a man. I want to just wait to see or attract who can vibe with this flow. Because this flow is as y'all could hear, this flow is it's kind of different. But, I think there's one for everyone. There are many for everyone, not necessarily one, but as you give yourself permission to just be you, I've attracted in different aspects. So I do attract. I'm now more clear. if it's the flow and go, or if it's just to just chill and be.
The flow or go or chill and be. Okay, I like that. We can tweet that out. Yes. So
At Dr. Ali Griff on that tweet, please. I promise I will pass it along and share it.
Yes. We're going to give you all the credit. I like that. Say it again. Can you remember what you said?
And hashtag the show, of course.
Of course. So let me ask you this. The whole myth, is it a myth, of women in their 40s, like really owning their sensuality, really stepping into it? Like, what's that about? Is that true or not?
Oh gosh, that's what I wish my mama would have told me when I was younger. Like, girl, you think it's good now? Just chill and see what it's gonna be. Yes. Like I said, evolving really made me get more connected to myself. That self-work really made me know what feels good, know what doesn't feel good. I actually am more attracted to spiritual relationships than actually physical relationships now. So the actual spiritual relationships with the combination of the physical relationships, wow, whole different hemisphere. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, why didn't you guys tell me that I need to really have a spiritual connection? I was like, oh, he cute. And I'm like, it felt empty. So now it's like a whole different vibe. And that's why I'm loving this process of the evolution of who I am now, is to be able to say that feels good, or that doesn't feel good, or how about we try this, or how about we don't try this. 20-year-old Allie, 30-year-old Allie, shoot, I'd be like, all right, we didn't do it, you know, like, but now it's more fun. It's more central. I feel like if sometimes the actual act doesn't even have to happen, that I get a high, like, I said, I'm a total brainiac. So just having conversations in itself sometimes is so stimulating that you're like, okay, this is good. Like the high I feel is just as good as the other stuff.
Yes. I love that spiritual connection, and that goes beyond the physical. Right, are in the entrepreneur space, but they're dealing with that imposter syndrome. You know, right? That's the word, that's the buzz phrase now. What would you tell them?
So that's that time when you really got to work on self. A lot of my programs that I do with moms, and I help a lot of moms in the startup space, right? Because I love helping them with the foundations, with doing the mindset work, with making sure that they're doing that creation of harmony and balance when they need to, so that they can still grow their business and work on their business at their own pace. And still have time for family and dating and stuff. I used to get this one question, Dr. Ali, how the heck are you everywhere? How are you doing so much? And I still am around you. And when they meet me, they're like, yo, you just as chill as ever. Like you are the real deal. I've spent so much time trying to be someone else that after the first and then the second relationship that I was involved in, I realized I was losing myself. I had to reconnect with, okay, who really is Ali? And that was part of the work of me doing, and knowing what are my strengths, knowing what are my areas of weaknesses and challenges. And in that space, I began to be more vulnerable to the world, like real. Like turn on the camera and they're seeing me without makeup. Me literally a few minutes before I jumped on, I was working out on my Peloton, and I jumped in. I'm like, girl, I am sweating. The old Ali would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't go on like this. I gotta go she gotta wait 15 minutes because the face gotta get beat. No, like that is so much daggone energy and too much work, and I don't have the time for it. Neither do you. So just be yourself. Who is for you will gravitate towards you. Who is not for you, then I release you. Have a blessed day. You're for someone else, and that's okay. So I just started to really own that space where, and I mean it in every aspect. Who you're getting me as a coach, I'm gonna tell you the real deal. Like, don't give me that excuse. You got a kid and you can't get your work done. Find some time. Let's get some time in. And when do I expect to see this getting done by? So I use that little grit, that Brooklyn grit, that black belt grit, that, you know, whatever I start, I finish grit. To help my clients, to help those who come into my spaces, because at times they question themselves. And I realized I was sent, for those who are listening right now, make sure you invite a friend, pass this along. Make sure you understand that you have full permission to be yourself.
Beautiful. This is the last thing, because I know I said I was going to let you go, but it made me think about being feminine in what we consider a masculine dominated industry, and we got to be a bitch in order to get things done and all of that. What do you say to that? And then we'll let you say your final piece and then let the people know where you at.
First of all, do you see why we had to do this again? I hope you understand that, because this was no way like the first one, right? Yeah. So that's inside joke. If y'all really want to know, then you need to make sure you listen to the next one. But what do I say to them is, there is no right or wrong way of who you're supposed to be. There is no right or wrong way. It's what feels good to you. Own that. Because like I was a tomboy, I was raised with my brother. It was him and I. So I was, every tree he was on, I was trying to be on a tree like right behind him. Right. Yes. But yeah, I love the essence of the lipstick and the glow and the flow. So, but I'm not that pinky pink girly girl. Yes. So I was in that space. I was like, okay, I don't know. Am I this? Am I that? And then that self-development work, that owning of self, that accepting me for me, that understand that sometimes I got a big belly when I'm bloated. And sometimes I get the ability to actually look a little slim. Like right now, this shot is good. I hope you guys can see it, take a good angle. But if you saw me last week, I was totally bloated. I was on that menstrual time. So I was like, hey, who belly is that? But understanding that whole space of perfection, like, have no time, do what you got to do. Let them own you as you. Now, I'm not saying go out there janky. Please don't get me wrong, like still own you. Like you got to feel good in the essence. Like I did put on lipstick. I did try and make myself feel a little nice for Yulinda Renee and this amazing show. Like own that space in between where it just, I looked at the mirror, I'm like, okay, this can go out to the world.
Yes, I love that. Where can they find you, ma'am? Tell them what you got going on. You got any new products?
Oh gosh, I always got products. And of course, I don't have one around me. I probably do right here. Okay, so I have, this is the most simplest way of getting in touch with me. I got a book, a planner. This is my Shift, Ignite, Empower movement. Y'all, I've been looking for this book like for the last 2 days because it's the one that I actually do my work, some of my work with. It says audiology on, and I literally just found it was inside of a binder when I reached in. Either way, you can get that at bit.ly/lifebizplanner. Or just look for me at dralligriffith.com. I give out free gifts. I definitely have a Start and Grow Your Biz guide that if you go on my website at dralligriffith.com, or if you just go to startandgrowyourbiz.com, you'll find me. Definitely follow me on IG because that's when you get the real. Like I'm trying to work on that real. Like I'm on the Peloton sweating and I'm like, okay, they got to see this too. They can't just think that this body just show up out of anywhere because I'm trying to get rid of my COVID body, my COVID 15, 20-ish. So I wanted to see it like, listen, there's some days I got to fit it in when I fit it in, even if it's right for it. So definitely follow me at Dr. Allie Griffith. I'm definitely all over the world, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Dr. Allie Griffith. It depends on which side you want to see.
Yes, I love it. And we're going to make sure they get all of it in the show notes. They're going to know where to find you. And y'all, she was so gracious because I lost the first recording. And she like, look, we about to take care of business. We're going to do it again. And that's the type of person she is. And that's the type of coach she will be for you. So make sure y'all follow, y'all support. And this has been another episode of what? From Shadow to Sacred is Sex and a Raw. Hey. And we are out, loves. Bye.
Bye.